Hope you guys are all doing great. If not, as always, I hope it gets better for you. So, awesome. We hit 500 or 55,555 subs. And I just wanted to thank you guys, do a live stream, talk to you guys a little bit about the channel, what's going on here. I know people usually do the 50,000 sub bit. I mean, everybody does the 50,000 sub bit. So I figured I'd do the 55,555,000 sub bit because I just like numbers like that. I'm weird. Maybe I'm just weird. But I just want to thank you guys all for the support, for the channel. Like, really, I could not be doing what goes on in this fish room without you guys. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I can never show you guys enough appreciation. And that's why I continue to do this with you guys and do my best to try to get videos for you. And saying that, I know many of you guys thought I was gonna leave last, well, it was probably about last year around this time, maybe a few more months. But I was gonna go to the Caribbean Sea, to the Virgin Islands. And what ended up happening with that is it all kind of fell through. It was gonna be huge for us and for you guys. It was gonna be really cool. So I'll share with you guys the vision of what all went through that. And I'm gonna just kind of this kind of goes into the whole future of the channel, and that's why I'm talking about it. But what I was gonna do is we're gonna get this property with a hillside. We're gonna build these concrete stairs, and then on the side it would have like these long kind of stepped up concrete platforms to where we could put either acrylic or glass. That way, whenever you looked at this hillside, you'd see all these aquariums just looking like they were connected, just moving upwards. But that's not gonna happen. I don't have the land for that now. We're gonna be in this fish room for a little while. I do wanna eventually upgrade. A big issue of my problem right now is just space is a problem, and just functionality as far as time and effort to these aquariums, which I am working on right now. Matter of fact, share with you guys a bit of the project. Some of you guys have already seen it, but latest snag with this little water change project. So this pump's supposed to pull this water out super fast for me, which this is working good. I've got all the leaks out of that. It works awesome. So I can just do pretty much all these tanks at once, just pumping water, which is amazing. But I got these cheap, what do you call these, clamps? A great price. Those are kind of expensive when you got to buy them by the hundreds. So I was trying to save some money. Really screwed me over because I got this thing all plumbed up, but the metal's too soft. So I got to go ahead and redo all that. That's what I'm kind of messing with now. But we are planning on staying here. I know many of you guys have been asking about the ponds. You see my lights going off here. It's kind of a late stream. It's my schedule anymore. I'm up late at night, so it's really hard for me to get videos done or just hop on live because I know a lot of you guys are sleeping. I was kind of hesitant doing this video too because I know a lot of you guys are sleeping. But I figured somebody would be awake, and I see all you guys awake in the chat, so glad to see you guys in here. What type of plant is growing out of those? So that's a Brazilian Pennywort, which this was all Brazilian Pennywort. It was really kind of neat whenever I pulled it out. It was like gardening pretty much. I just trimmed the edges of it and squeezed it all out because you can see it's still over here. So I was taking it out tank by tank. Like I took this tank out, boom. Took this tank out, boom. So just one at a time, I've just kind of been going through it. But it's really neat because it's growing right back. It all kind of started from this, actually, because I'd keep this up here from breeding these CPDs. You can kind of see them from there. You can see them frolicking around a little bit with the glare. But I'd transfer these for the eggs, but eventually the Brazilian Pennywort kind of got in there, acted as a terrarium and an island, and it went nuts one time because it all was just in one tank. Really cool plant. Peplin Creek Aquatics, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you, Peplin Creek. I know you've been watching for a long time. I'm just so ready to get these tanks cleaned up and just do new things with them. I have a lot of organizing to do. I am planning on doing things out of like the non-filtered thing. I am planning on doing some high-tech stuff, not in here. This will still be for like breeding, everything else. I may end up getting rid of this. I've got this rack going up. I've got this rack going up. We got the pond stuff going on outside. I'm gonna update you guys on the systems, everything, hopefully this weekend for the ponds and whatnot. But we'll go ahead and stroll into, and if you guys wanna see anything, I'll be on here for a little bit and we can just go looking around. I mean, I've got random rainbow fish. I've got so many things, like, but these guys are just too big to ship. Like, I can't ship these guys. For me, it's just too hard to ship. But it's kind of cool. I mean, the glare is horrible because those rainbows are beautiful. You can't see their color, but the bristlenose are still breeding in here because of this moss. How cool is that? And I know my thoughts are kind of scattered right now. There's just been a lot on my mind, but I am not gonna let this channel die. I am planning on adding a new banner, get an intro video, because a lot of these people who are coming to my channel and are new to my channel don't quite get what I do. They see my tanks, they're like, oh my God, what is this guy doing? But then you go in and look at these tanks. You've got dwarf neon rainbows. I mean, I got Taiwan lilies. See, these are still growing. You can always get rid of algae. Same with Philippine ferns. But then there's babies. That algae is absolutely amazing for growing babies and fry in here. So we got dwarf neon colony breeding in here. These guys will get removed. I'll get eggs from them. CPD's in there. It's just a whole different approach. Granted, I'm gonna end up making these look a lot cleaner. It's just I haven't had time. This Daphnia worm tank I got going on here. Been doing a bit more live foods. Trying to naturally get those going. See all the Daphnia in there. And those Congo tetras, they love that fine leaf kind of breeding medium. So I do got fish and all kinds of other stuff going, breeding. Here in the, let's actually go into the main fish room. That way you guys kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. Because I do want to get more into selectively breeding certain shrimp. Because it's something I've been needing to do for a long time. And many of you guys who've been following me are probably like, yeah, about time. Because you guys know how my shrimp are. But I'll end up probably taking a lot of these fish out of these. Because I was going with the endlers and guppies. And trying to specifically breed certain ones and do this and that with them. But I've just got way too many of them now. I've got some crazy types. I do plan on lining them up. And with those new systems I got in the garage, I'll be able to do that. So once I'm able to do that, I'll start making this like more of a shrimp room. So pretty much what I want to do is get the fish room more organized. So this will be like more shrimp in here. That'll kind of be like auxiliary miscellaneous. Guest bedroom will probably be shrimp. I may keep some other things because like with the shrimp, you can put in baby rainbows or other baby fish and still work the tanks like that. And then the utility room will be my high-tech kind of Dutch style tanks, which I think will be great. And then in the garage will be mostly for fish breeding. All just focused on fish breeding. And I think once I do this, it'll definitely help a lot. Look at these barbs. You guys ever seen draped fin barbs? Really cool fish. Those nuri crips though. And these guys are starting to breed out again. The staic endlers. Of course, you can't focus here on live. Looks like an orange sherbet guppy. Yeah, those are sexy nuri crips. And I need to get like an auction site up. Unfortunately, GoDaddy's auction capabilities, I still haven't figured those out. Because I have, you guys got to see this. Like, I've got to show this to you. I've got this humongous monster nuri crip. It's been growing for years and years. Should just probably take that log out there. It'd make that tank so much nicer. But you see my house, it's a wreck right now because there's parts and pieces for everything. Fish tank stand, that's about to go down. I think I'm gonna switch these guys out too because I don't think that's a pair. And I don't know what I want to breed in there, but I want to put something else in there. Anyways, this nuri crypt, look at this thing. It's a monster. So that's a nuri. That little plant that you saw, this is probably about 3 years at least. Maybe. Thing is huge. It's huge. Look at that. Like the plants and stuff in this fish room, it's a sight to see because there's really no other fish room like this. You'll go nowhere and find a fish room like this where there's just like jungles everywhere, stuff growing out of this, that, and the other. Like, look at all the different plants here. I've got DSS growing up in here with the pearlweed. And I've got moss down there, more DSS, Philippine fern, Pontigeton, all kind of meshed together. Copa Carolina, willow moss, Fuchsia philandras, Wendenti, more willow moss that just goes on for miles. It's crazy. It's crazy. All no filter. And then guppies. I'm just loaded up on guppies. Which these are the ones I sell for like pond guppies. The rare pond guppy mix. Can't believe I'm still sitting on these guys though. Platinum red tails. The discus are right behind me. Yes. They are. There they are. I think I may go to the Michiana Aquarium Society's auction this weekend. I may take those. I don't know. I'm still debating it. Because I feel like I could utilize this tank a lot better than just having some discus. Because, I mean, granted, I like the discus. They're kind of cool. But I've got to start thinking more functionality with my fish room right now. And I do think I might get into killifish breeding here too. Because I would like to get back into that. I've done it a little bit. These guys are just so amazing. I think it would be great to get back in them. And we need more people doing that. And then I'll finally have the systems to be able to do so. Like, check that dude out. These scriptosemians, these things are some of the coolest. Killifish gang, right? This guy, he's one of my favorites. If I can get him, he's okay. Or of course, he's gonna spaz. That scriptosemian is amazing. Look at that guy. And I have only lost one fish so far, which was my female Ammer. Yeah, Ameti. We've still got the male. He's absolutely awesome. But he must have murdered her. And it was the only one I didn't put on the site that I was like, I'm going to breed these. Like, they're the ones that I just wanted to breed. See if I can get them on camera. But of course the female died because I didn't put him on the website or something. But he's got like this yellow. Come on, guy. Here, boy. And come out. Here, there's a spot. Come check it out. You might want to try to look at it so I can look at you. Yeah, I can't quite get him, but he's got yellow on the bottom and like this blue, but then there's this red stripe that divides it. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful fish. And that brings me up to another thing. Aquashella is going to be in Florida, and I was kind of hoping to get down there for you guys during Aquashella and actually bring a booth and all that stuff, and always love seeing you guys there. But big problem is, let me flip you guys over. The AKA National Convention is the same date as well. My love and affinity for killifish. And it's not that far. It's only 4 hours from me compared to 19 hours. I'm going to have to go to that. I just can't help myself. We'll definitely have to go to that. So saying that, unfortunately, I will not be making aquashella, at least in Florida, I won't be able to make. And let me go ahead and scroll. Wait, no, wait, the time. Not sure what he's saying. All right. I'll go ahead and scroll through some of this chat for you guys if you guys did have any questions or want to know anything about the channel or what we plan on doing or anything you guys want to see. Like, I've got a list upon list of videos. Like, well, I'll just give you a niblet. Let's see, Daphne tank video. I still haven't done that. Oh, that's serpent design. Oh, the human experience, aquarium keeping, playing God and connecting with Mother Nature, all that stuff. My experience and journey, why this road, and the pilgrimage it's taken me down. That's some deep stuff. And then down here, there's, I think, all kinds of other YouTube video list, notes. I'm buried in notes. They do say that sometimes notes are the deathbed of ideas, which I can kind of see. Because they're just laying there to be resurrected. Timothy Darling, thank you so much for the $5 super chat and support. Says, what kind of moss is in that tank next to the Blue Dreams on the right-hand side? Oh, that would be the weeping moss. It's in the Blue Red Really tank. I rarely sell that because it grows funny. Because what it'll do is it'll kind of like curl up into itself. And if it just keeps overgrowing, and it'll just start collecting algae. And I just never made a listing. If you want, you could email Sarah at lrbaquatics.orders@gmail.com, and we could probably do a special order for you if you want some of that weeping moss, because it is kind of prime. I should actually probably make a listing for that. There's quite a few things I should make listings for. And now the weather is getting phenomenal. It's a lot better. Will there be auction booths at AKA? So there will be auctions there. There'll be tables, I'm sure. And yeah, it's a lot of just killifish people hanging out. There'll be talks with the auction and stuff. Definitely worth going if you've never been. Tips on redoing a fish room. Really, that all depends on what angle or perspectives you want to go to, because there's a bunch of ways to do a fish room. Tons of ways. And I'm kind of redoing mine now with like just processes, since I run more individual tanks instead of central systems, which you can run central systems, or you can run individual tanks, airlines, no airlines. I really like having the no filter, no airline, because it is absolutely silent in here. I can hear the timers to my lights. That's how quiet it is in here. No bubbles, because when you keep a lot of tanks and you just hear water, like, it triggers you. There's a mental mind effery that triggers you. And when you hear certain things out of order, it can mess with you. So it distracts from the peace of the hobby, which I do. Like, this is my art. This is like my zen, my meditation kind of stuff. And the more peace I can bring from it for myself is kind of the idea as well. La 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 la. And yeah, there's like a billion ways to do a fish room. I would definitely do it differently if I had like a brand new like barn. I would love to kind of separate to where I got like a house and then like a fish tank barn, because it is kind of hard having all these aquariums in your house. And I really don't recommend people to just go out and do that, because there are problems that arise. I mean, having this many aquariums in a house is kind of hard on a house. So I would like to separate it out here eventually. And I would do different systems differently. I would still keep a lot of the no filter, like nothing in it. Just a tank, plants, substrate, And you know what? I didn't even have to have tanks. It's kind of surprising. I've been growing a lot of endlers and guppies with no lights, and they seem to do better with no lights. I don't know what it is, but you breed them in the dark, it's amazing. You think about it too, though, in nature, a lot of these shaded areas and in the water, it's usually pretty murky, pretty dark, so maybe they're used to it. Do you dose liquid ferts? So I do dose liquid ferts. And that's kind of one of my struggles right now, is when you go with the non-filtered aquariums and then you go months and months and months without water changes. It's really hard to balance the plant growth and the algae and the ferts because of just the differences between stock levels, biomasses of plants, and what's being absorbed and what's not being absorbed. It's hard to manage. But it would be easy. If I was staying up on my water changes, this is the thing about my fish room. Granted, it looks like crap in my eyes. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff in here. I just know I could do the plants a lot better, a lot nicer, like cleaning out the algae. It's amazing what one run through will do this fish room. So here, once I get this water change organized, you guys will see it start changing. That's why it doesn't really worry me when this kind of stuff happens with the algae builds up and stuff. It's nothing to freak out about, easy fixes. LRB, will you be at the fall CCAC auction, Casual Aquatics? I can't ever promise anything, but if I get reminded in time, it's a probability. What size water heater do you use? I actually have, I don't know how big it is. I could show it, maybe a say. But I actually got two. I had to get a tankless water heater because our other water heater would not keep up. And it's a pretty decent sized water heater. Boom. Okay, yeah. I don't know if it says, let's see. Where's the gallons? There's a PSI. Oh, 80 gallon. Yep. So, big water heater, RO, but I run a lot of taps. So, pretty much this is a good example. With this tank, I can go all the way down to here. And then I'll fill up to RO to about right here. And then that'll be tap. And then that runs about 200 TDS for me, which is awesome. Really, if you run a neutral for about anything, you're golden. And then I've also got a tankless water heater, which that thing's been a savior. But chlorine blaster, definitely recommend if you got a big fish room. Those chlorine blasters are just, it's definitely worth it. Oh, lights out. Well, guys, and I've got to split these guys up. These hill trouts are getting crazy. They're getting to be a bit too much for the barbs, I think. Which I think I'll put the barbs in there and I'll line that sponge filter. Well, the sponges that you usually use for filters, I'll line the bottom there and try to collect some eggs from those barbs since they're spawn tricklers. And thank you all for the congrats on the subs. Like I said, I can't do it without you guys. You guys are absolutely amazing. And the reason why I'm here. Lucas, are you going to sell any rice fish? I really need to. I need to get those on the website too. I need to get a list of things I need to get on the website. I think when I go to the auction, if I go to the auction this weekend, it'll get me more into what I've got for sale, what I don't have for sale. But these things have been pretty much breeding like crazy. You can see there's different sizes up there. Just that algae. It's crazy. But if I pull this algae up, there'll probably be dwarf sage and all kinds of other stuff growing up underneath it. All right. These parvas. See, just grow bow like that. Subwasser tang on the website. Yeah, I need to get that on the website too. I actually have excuse me, a lot of that growing out. Yeah, let me stand over here. This is a different site, so I can scroll. But that, like I said, organization is going to be a big thing with this fish room this year. Just trying to get things all organized. And that goes along with offering you guys more stuff as well. And I got hit by a few unfortunate events this last year, which kind of slowed me down as well with, I mean, I know I shouldn't have lit it, but like this aquarium getting busted, I mean, that pretty much takes out, this was going to be an awesome system. Pretty much what this was going to be with this custom aquarium system, which it's kind of my fault for, I should have split these tanks up. Just because I know that's a huge footprint for especially a wood bottom and everything else, that it just cracked along the middle, busted. But this was going to be one system, that, and I was going to use this to grow out rainbows because the more water volume you have, the faster you can grow rainbows. And I was going to float these things. I was going to grow all this dwarf sage underneath it. Oh, it was going to look awesome. It was going to be like, I don't know, 600 gallons worth of water just to help grow out fish. It was going to be huge. But, you know, then that popped. Kind of screwed me on that. Then that pond, I just wish I would have just kept doing it myself. Put a lot of time in that. Now I'm just still fixing that. But it is what it is. Then you end up with all these projects. And it's like you're trying to piece this together, piece that together. Some things you can't get, or, you know, it doesn't always roll the same. So everything's just kind of slow rolling. I am trying to bring things out for you guys. Oh, and I will have a killifish video for you guys here soon too, with more of the species names. I did end up making that video and taking pictures of each and every type for you guys, which will be different types than the ones that I've had in the previous videos too. So if you've seen my previous killifish videos and like that, you'll like this new one coming up as well. And sorry if I'm missing any of you guys' questions. I can only read so much and chat so much. Rohan J says, do you have water flow in a non-filter aquarium? It depends on the fish. Bigger fish, I tend to like to have some kind of flow in there, just to pass water through their gills. But I think there's only 3 tanks with any water movement whatsoever that I have, and that is my 3 125s. Fire to Ashes, any tips on outdoor stock tank setups? Was thinking on setting some summer stock tanks up for guppies, plecos, maybe angelfish. I think half-beaks would be cool. Angelfish outside though look absolutely amazing. I love angelfish outside. Philippine blues is one of my favorites. Guppies and plecos, you could always do those. Kept cardinals out there. You can really keep anything out there, as long as you do it right and keep their parameters like where they need to be if they have specifics. A lot of the fish that I have, like the cardinals, I've kept outside. I never really messed with the parameters. I don't know if they're in hard water, soft water, because of the rain. They didn't seem to care. Like, it would get down to 60 at night. Fish love it outside. You'd be surprised what you can do out there. Just make sure they're not in the direct sun. Make sure they're off into a shaded area with no direct sun, and you'll be all right. Same with your plants. A lot of us think that those plants would just do awesome underneath direct sunlight, and that's not. Melt like crazy. Guppy grass especially, it does not like it. Where is the swap in Michigan you spoke of? So, go on, man. Let me flip you over here because I got their thing. It is over at the Bourbon Park Pavilion. So, it sounds like it's outside, maybe, or in some kind of pavilion at a park. Oh, and it does says weather permitting, so. Huh, interesting. I think the weather should be nice, though, on Saturday. I don't think we're expecting any rain. But yeah, a lot of you guys, I ain't even showed you guys this stuff. I've been growing things up in tubs, whatnot in here. There's a lot of stuff I haven't shown you guys either that I've just been kind of sitting on. Are you going to the AKA? Yes, Caleb, I will be there. I'm skipping Aquashella for that. As much as Florida sounds really nice. Can I put a betta with a snail? Depends on the snail, but yeah, usually you can. Just watch them, because the betta might try to nip at the snail's antennae and stuff. Thank you for asking if people hit the like button there. Marudol Singh, I don't know if I said that right, but I tried at least. Once again, sorry if I'm missing your questions. Scroll. And I am at the bottom here, so if you did have that question and you were asking it, and you're still here, I will answer it. I don't know how much longer I will be on here, because I have a lot I gotta get to. I really want to try to see if I can get this system out here done. Oh, and with the summer, you know how hard it is not to cut this hair off? I feel like I'd be disowned if I do. Even though I shouldn't care so much. No, I think I would feel weird if I didn't have this hair. It's so crazy right now. And hot. Let's see, how warm is it in here? In the fish room is 82 degrees right now, 63% humidity, because I got the dehumidifier off for you guys. Look at these. I got to show you guys these guys real quick. Look at these shell dwellers with the Nubius. Look at the roots of the Nubius. The shell dwellers and the babies everywhere. How cool is that? Who says you can't keep cichlids in a plated aquarium? So those who are new to the channel, that's the kind of stuff we like to do around here. Outside the box kind of stuff. I'm glad you love your new fish, Adam's Backcountry Living. Thank you so much for the support. Braid it. I don't have time to braid my hair. Kidding me? I'm lucky to bathe myself. Farm fish and freedom, any CPD breeding advice? Indeed, I got a whole video on how to breed CPDs. And the whole shebang, like shows them breeding and everything. So go to my breeding playlist and it'll describe it way better than I can right now. What's the biggest fish you keep? Probably those hill trouts right now. Oh, I got rope fish. No, I got those rope fish. They're pretty long. But I don't really keep a whole lot of big fish because big fish require bigger tanks and my MTS is crazy. So with those big fish and my MTS, it just would not work right. It would not work well at all. And yeah, the MTS is not slowing down whatsoever. I wish I had a lot more space. No, I don't bathe. I just waller in the dirt. Like a bird, you know, like the birds do. Just go out there and dust myself off with dirt. I guess that would be bathing too. Don't tell me it's Friday already. No, it's not that. It's still Thursday. Even though I've done that before. I started a Friday night live stream on Thursday. 1 million subs, gotta get a haircut. Only 945,000 to go. Sweet. I'll be down to my feet by then. But yeah, Fridays, I will always be here for you guys on Fridays. Those I do not miss. Tool Hog 10, you ever see a huge Great Lakes sturgeon? Them things are dinosaur looking crazy. So yes, they are. And I want to say town that I grew up in, Covington, Indiana, kind of small town, right on the Wabash River. There was a time we were fishing out there, and it was in like it was either 12-foot, 15-foot John boat. We got some stupid motor on it, like 150 horsepower or something. And it was like dead of winter. There's ice everywhere, snow everywhere still. But we decided we'd be real smart, go out there and fish. And we got something that I swear was one of those sturgeons on the line, because we were literally chasing that thing up the river in this boat with that big engine on it for the size of the boat it was. And we were hauling butt up that, and man, that thing, it got away from us. But whatever it was, I bet it had to have been one of those sturgeons. because it's the only thing that would have explained it. I don't really do fishing anymore just because, I don't know, I can't really hook fish in the mouth anymore. I used to fish a lot. But my perspectives have changed. Fire to ashes, how do you handle fish that require lower pH versus ones that need higher? Some reasons having pH issues being too high for ones I want in 6.8 even though I use RO. So don't look at your pH, look at TDS. pH is a goose chase. I will preach this until the day I die that pH is more of a problem for the aquarium hobby than it is a helper. And look at your total dissolved solids. That'll really tell you if you have alkalytic or acidic water or in between neutral, because your pH could also be read as per hydrogen if you got certain oxygenation in there that could cause different readings. And then if you start reading those at certain times, like say after water changes opposed to if it's been settled for a while, you're going to have different readings, which will end up making you think that the water's not right. And then people like to blame a plethora of problems on pH when it's not pH. So I would look at TDS, get a TDS meter. They're cheap, like 10 bucks, 15 bucks probably now with inflation. And yeah, go off that. Anything at 200 is neutral, anything above it is alkalytic, anything underneath it is acidic. And most fish really don't care either way. It's just often they're collected from these certain sources and the water reads that at a specific time. But these fish are not always in that certain water. Like a lot of the tetras that we get that are in the super low pH, often they're coming from the flooded forest, which in that water that they're collected from at the time is going to be more acidic because all the decaying material. But the normal waters that they're in during that time usually have a little different fluctuation than those ponds. And that happens in all kinds of other scenarios too, whether it's raining, this, that, and other. And what I've noticed through my experience, years of keeping them different ways, this, that, and the other, is a lot of them really don't care. The only thing is, and a lot of it has to do with the immunity system of the fish. It's all on how we look at it, really. And it all comes down to the immunity of the fish. Now, when you have soft acidic water, you have a lot less bacterials, funguses, and other things growing in that type of water. So their immunity, like certain immune sensitive fish, that's why they have problems with pH. And then you'll start seeing them have issues or catching things because, just like ick, because they're in an improper setting that their immune system's just not ready for, which you can get them ready for it. And that's kind of where the acclimation really comes in, if you do need to acclimate anything to transfer them over. Because if you take a fish that's been in hard water and put them in acidic water, it's going to kind of burn their skin coat. And then that leaves them prone to certain things, secondary infections or ick or this, that, and other. So as long as you're keeping their skin coat and their immunity up and them happy, then the fish will be great. Ditch the house, buy a building. Eventually, I mean, I would like to. I want to get some land, barn, all that stuff, specific building. We just got to get there. We'll get there. Figure we'll do this for about another year. Wait for the housing market to cool down because it's just a mess right now. And see where that goes. Do you have any goldfish? I don't have any goldfish, but oh my God, I want some goldfish so bad. I just don't have the tank space for them. But I really wish I had a goldfish tank where I could just see them waddle about. Absolutely love it. Fish streams, can microworm culture be put in the refrigerator or will they die? I've never put one in the refrigerator. I always kept them out. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's always been my motto. Kathy Kirkham says, so I saw Mr. Pleco video, laughing face. Yeah, that's pretty good. I wonder where my TDS meter is, right? I need to go find that. I've got like one for every rack. They're all over the place here. LRB Aquatics, if you could keep a large fish, which would it be and why? Arowanas are really cool. I really like the arowanas. The Chinese banded shark, I think is really cool. The iridescent sharks, I absolutely love those. Ball of sharks. All these fishy night owls here, right? It's awesome. How long do you dirt tanks last till all nutrients are gone? So I'm actually really glad you mentioned that, because many of you guys have seen my dirted tanks and I haven't did a whole lot of follow-up on it, but I freaking love them. I absolutely love them. When it comes to nutrients and growth, especially for rooted plants, it's amazing. Let me pop you guys up down underneath here. Show you an example. I've been pulling out this Italian valve for you guys. But this dirt, there, you can see where the roots, see the roots where you can really get in there? Look how nice those roots are. That's the good old Indiana dirt. And it is full of iron and all kinds of nutrients and goodness. It grows like crazy. Dalmatian guppy. Same here. You can see the rust. See the line of rust between the Brightwell and the dirt? That's from the iron in the water, in the dirt there. And this stuff works great for plants. Oh, this one's kind of planted. It's got the rich line, but it's just overloaded with algae. Upper Tor's been in there breeding. I pulled some eggs out of them not too long ago, put them in this tub just to see what would happen. I don't know if they're still in there or not. I haven't really been feeding it. Not seeing much. But yeah, it's resorted to the point to where I'm like taking Tupperware and still just not enough tanks. Just not enough tanks in the world, man. Okay. Indiana Dirt, you're a Hoosier? I am a Hoosier, sorta, I guess, if you want to call me a Hoosier. Who's your daddy? I'm just playing. No, but seriously. Let's see, Lucas, have you ever bred red and blue really? So I have. I've bred purple and blue really as well. Do you have any wild type platies? I do not. There's some wild type swordtails, not platies. I've bred all kinds I've bred green rillies. I've got tons of yellow rillies going on right now. I'm trying to line them out. Everybody's getting down on the Mr. Placo. I do want to make another song. I was thinking about doing Chasing Dwarf Neon Rainbows. You know, living that aquarium dream. And yeah, I don't know if I want to say how I actually did that Mr. Placo video. If you're looking to move, Alaska, definitely not. Florida, yeah, probably. Nevada, New Hampshire, South Dakota, Tennessee. Texas, Washington, Wyoming have no income tax. Well, that's all up my alley. Scroll. Hold on. Do you have a preferred blend brand of soil you use? So I really like sand. When it comes to plants, I absolutely love sand. Sand's the best. Carib Sea Natural Sand's one of my favorites. The Tahitian Moon or whatever it's called anymore. It's probably one of my favorites. And then the dirt, it works great. Really, I mean, as long as you're feeding your plants ferts and everything, it's really hard to go wrong on soil. But you also need to think about your soil with what you're keeping, because some can leach alkalytics or alkaline properties, and some can leach acidity, depending on the water you put in there. So if you have, let's say, crushed coral, and you start putting RO soft water in there, it's going to start breaking down that coral. Then you start putting hard water onto a soft acidic substrate. It'll actually mineralize over some of that acidity, so you won't get that same buffer out of it either. So keep that in mind. You can't cross that kind of stuff out. Yeah, projects on projects on projects, right? Like racks on racks. Dating Aquatics, Lucas makes me feel normal, lol. Speaking of which, I think I saw you had a super chat, and I meant to go back to that, my brother. I don't know if I acknowledged that or no, I don't think I did. And Dr. Fogg, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I was just rambling there. I'm so sorry. I hope you're still in here. But thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because your guys' super chats are a huge part of what I make off of YouTube. It's like more than 50%. So I could never thank you guys enough for the super chats. And Dana Ken Aquatics, if I did not say thank you before, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Always showing me the love and support. Well, Farm Fish and Freedom says, got some red neon blue-eyed rainbows waiting on them to mature. Any videos on how to breed them? So the red neon blue-eyed rainbows. Red neon blue-eyed. Oh, like the Pseudomugal Pascays. Pascays. They're actually kind of tricky to breed. They're hit and miss. Like, I don't know if they're more of a seasonal spawner or kind of trigger spawner, but they'll spawn at the top of the water and the bottom of the water. You can use a spawning mop. They don't really care about the water too much, but if you keep it around neutral, you'll have really good results, better results. And live foods always help. And just collect the eggs out. It usually takes a couple weeks for them to hatch out. I got a video in my breeding playlist on how to breed rainbow fish too. Thing about rainbow fish, you can breed one rainbow fish, you can pretty much breed the rest of them. Fish Dreams, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for the huge $5 super chat. Appreciate it, Fish Dreams. Seen all your comments and chats in here. I appreciate all your support. And thank you all for the congrats and love and support. And as far as the channel, like, and the growth of the channel, it really hasn't been that great. Like, I'm hanging on right now. Just because of this last year, I have not been showing YouTube the work, I guess. And YouTube will pay, like, it'll put you up for it. But that's why I always try to still be here for you guys, you know? Because I can't let this die. And I don't want to let it die because, shoot, this is an amazing opportunity. I'm so blessed to even be here. And there's still so much to do. Still so much to share. And I absolutely love the fact that when I did take a break, I see there's a lot more channels out there now that are kind of preaching what I was teaching and this, that, and the other. So it is great to see that it's been spreading, and people are kind of looking at the hobby differently. Which, granted, my ideas weren't like, they're not like all mine. Like, people have been doing it this way, no filter, that stuff and whatever. But what we're fed as the masses is just that consumerism into this hobby. And I think when you get into like having to have plastic for this and this part and product for this, and it's just like so repetitive that you're kind of taking out of the whole environment part of it. For instance, like filters, and then like the cartridge media that comes through filters and stuff like that. And just to keep things more natural and less out of the whole consumer part and more in the nature part. That way we can have more money for fish, plants, stuff like that. And just that reconnection of Mother Nature. Like, to be able to share that with people, it's gold. And to see other people sharing it with people, it's really cool. Lonnie, a.k.a. Looney Tunes, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you, Looney Tunes, again for the support. It says, congrats, LRB and Lady LRB. Upwards and onwards. Love the depth of knowledge and tricks. Keep up the great work. Well, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Really, really appreciate all those kind words. And I'm trying to keep it up. A lot of it, man, is getting older too. God, my energy level, like, I don't know. Wesley's got it all. He has taken the chi from the whole house or something, because that kid is wound for sale. Well, I'm an old dad anymore, it feels like. Triple J Aquatics says, sorry, Lucas, what I meant by soil was dirt. Do you dig it up in your yard, or is there a specific brand or blend you like to purchase? So I actually prefer my dirt outside. I know it's clay rich, so it's going to have a lot of that iron, a lot of mineralization to it. And also, I don't know, you don't get those styrofoam balls and wood and all kinds of other stuff that can be in some of the bag. And plus, you don't know how that stuff was bagged up, which there are a lot of organic places that do a good job of giving good dirt. But at the same time, you're paying for it and pay usually a pretty good price for it. So I don't know. I know we don't spray anything out in our backyard, so I don't have to worry about anything like that. So it's nothing for me to dig it out from back there. So it all depends on your yard and how it's been treated. Any breeding activities with your Imparva rainbows? Yeah, all the time, dude. All these rainbows are always breeding. Always. It's just collecting the eggs and just the time to deal with them. I don't have space to put all their babies. I've got all kinds of babies growing out. I just don't have space. Like I was just gonna do one row of these just because it does take a bit to feed all those different containers. But like now I think I'm gonna have to do both rows with those containers, which that's gonna add like 2, 4, 5, 6, 2, 2. Probably like at least almost 200, maybe 200 of those containers. Am I still going live tomorrow? I am definitely still going to go live tomorrow. I would never leave you guys hanging on Friday night live. If I'm missing a Friday night live Q&A, it would be crazy. Like I even hopped on when we were down in St. Croix, which the internet was absolutely horrible. And still did a live stream then. And it usually hurts the channel when I do that just because people are like wondering, I don't know, they first see this channel like, what is this guy doing out here? Why is he even, there's no tanks around. I don't even want to watch this. Yeah, I will always be here for Fridays. And thanks for the super chat, AI5. Or AIV or LV, hard to tell. But thank you for the support. I see you guys talking about that Alex and Joey thing in the channel. And you know what? I wasn't going to say much about it, but I think you guys are awful hard on Joey. And if you see it in Alex's face when he mentioned that, you can tell that Alex already knew he messed up. The problem is, Alex didn't really respect Joey's wishes. And I understand him when you're a guest, and I know this may not be the popular opinion with some, but I think people should just think more about the fish, not so much about the drama. Because, I mean, we all make mistakes. People just love to cast stones, though, and it's kind of messed up. Fire to ashes when nobody's perfect. I try to apply a lot of how you do your setup and just let nature do its thing. As far as dirt, do you sterilize it? So what I'll do with the dirt is I like to sun bake it. That way any of the bacterias and funguses kind of get dried out and sun baked. And that's pretty much all I did. My dirty tank is the healthiest. It's doing another, but with plenum. So I want to trade anything from some Hasbro's Corys. I'm in Indy, growing about 100 fry right now. Nice, congrats on your breeding. Right now I'm actually trying to get rid of a lot of my Cory cats. Just because my no filters with Cory cats. I love my Cory cats. But it's just a pain in my butt. Then I don't really breed them enough to really make it, like, they're really just for my own looksies. Which I've got so many fish that are just for my own looksies. Like, considering I'm a business, I'm like the worst business guy when it comes to like what I keep and everything. It's horrible. Because I want like all these tanks for my own looksies. Matter of fact, what I want to do too is, you see this space right in the middle? I want to put like an island tank there, so it's kind of like a indoor pond where I could just sit here from my chair and just chuck food in it. How cool would that be? Joe Estes, thank you so much for the $5 super chat, Joe. Appreciate your support. Thank you. How are your black bar endlers? So I've got some breeding out. They're not giving me a mass number, and I think it's because I've only got them in a 10-gallon tank. I do got a bunch of lime greens though. They're going like crazy. LV or AIV says, my suppy cabinet needs a new LRB poster. When is the new design coming? Hopefully soon. He said he was supposed to have it for me a long time ago. Still haven't gotten it yet. Kind of waiting on it. I need to bug him about it. I need to get some stickers again too. Zach Harper, yo, how cold is too cold for the CPDs in an outdoor pond? Water gets to be 58 degrees at night here in Colorado. Any ideas? Thank you, Shrimp Jesus. So, the question is, how warm is it getting there in the day? Because what will happen is it will get cool at night, but it also depends on the depths of your water as well as and the volume is how much of that heat is it going to retain from the day. And this happens with pretty much most fish. And it happens here too. And my cardinal tetras did fine in that situation. Angelfish, rainbow fish. Haven't tried with CPDs, but I do know that CPDs aren't really as finicky as people say or as the books say. CPDs are a lot tougher than what the books say. I think a lot of the problems with the CPDs that people will have is the breeding stocks used to not be as good. They may be getting better now though. And then we would just try to keep them too hot and too acidic and stuff, which is not quite needed. Fire to Ashes, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Says, as far as iron, what's too high for fish? Here in Montana, we're high iron, so scared to use well water or topsoil. I have a test kit for iron. You know what? I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and I mean, I don't know, when I'm dosing iron, I really don't even worry. Same with my shrimp and everything else. These tanks that have a lot of iron in them as well. And I know there's all kinds of waters out there just probably saturated in iron. So saying this, I think it's really hard to overdo it on iron. But as well, my dad has well water full of iron as well, and he keeps a lot of stuff within it. But sometimes the mineralization is just too much, which isn't just the iron, but a multitude of things, to where it's just too hard for him. But yeah, I've never seen any issue with iron whatsoever. But thank you for the support, Fire to Ashes. Alright, I am at the bottom. Ooh, we're about at an hour. It was a fast hour. Thanks for all the great info. Joe Estes says, this may be a little off topic, but did you build those stands? I did build these stands. I built all these stands. Old 2x4s. And I built many in many different ways too. But still the kind of standard way. It all depends on what I'm putting on it. Like, say this stand, you see nothing up underneath it, where it's just the boards, but it's too thick. There's two 2x4s here, which, I mean, you don't want to use a 4x4. It just weights too much. So doubling up 2x4 with that pine, you drop a little weight reduction. But since I'll have these containers on there, I don't have to worry about that support. But if I were to put tanks on there, it would be designed a bit differently as well. Same with like this long run. That's 240 gallons, 125 on a wood rack. Thank God it hasn't fallen yet. You can see it's sagging just a little bit over here. But that could be also the house going down, because we've been having some issues with the house. As some of you guys know, we put robot legs on it last year, because here in this corner, like, it's just a big mess. Like, the brickwork's cracking because the pond in the back, which isn't supposed to be a pond, it's just pretty much drainage for the neighborhood. It's just been ripping through here for years, so the house has been settling, and ever since they dug that up, it just hasn't been settling right, because this house was actually kind of floating on water when they went to put it up on the legs. And I think maybe that was like the magic of the house or something, I don't know. But it took them forever just to unload the water. Like, I could have probably cut a square in here and just started throwing fish down there. There was that much water up underneath this house. Now that it's gone, it's all dried up. I think that's kind of what's been slanting it over. Because if you look at the 125, still good, the water level here. But that's the same thing. Let's see, doubled up 2x4s, but then I've got more support here and then like a back beam just to kind of hold the middle in. This has been up for a long time. Excuse me. All right, well, these fish are about to go to bed. Some of them. This stand, actually, it doesn't shut off until about 3 o'clock in the morning. That's what I'm going to be working on today. Which I've got everything here, and I'm hoping that they don't start leaking at all those valves with the clamps that I was telling you guys about earlier, where I got the wrong, some softer ones because I wanted to save some money. They ended up being too soft, and then I poured water in here and started leaking all over. Real pain. So now I've got to switch these out. I'm hoping if I switch these out, there'll be enough to hold the pressure, and then hopefully there's not enough pressure in here to really make those problematic. But you know, that trial and error kind of stuff that makes things take longer and longer, but we'll get there. Just got to keep plugging at it, and yeah, I'm excited for this year. I'm excited for all the things that come on this channel and the things that we're gonna do. And hopefully this weekend, definitely tomorrow, we'll get on the Friday Night Live Q&A. You guys can ask more questions. So if you guys did have questions and wanted to ask them, I will be on tomorrow to answer them as well. Until, I think, like, I'm hoping Sunday we'll be able to go outside and do some videos out there. But I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all your support. Like, seriously, it's an amazing world. The fact that we can all connect like this on a platform like this in so many different fashions and so many different ways, it's an amazing time to be alive, even though it's a crazy world out there. We got to count our blessings, and that's the most important thing. It's just remember our blessings. It's easy to dwell on the little BS that comes with life, and it's all about attitude on how you get through it. And if I can help any of you guys, that makes me feel good. So I'm happy to help you guys, especially when you help me. So thank you for all the likes, the subscriptions, the watching, my members, my Patreons. Like, you guys are absolutely amazing. Everybody who orders from the website, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Can never thank you guys enough. I love you. Until next time, everybody, peace. Have a great one. And Finn Wiggles coming out with the $10 super chat at the end. Thank you, Finn. You're absolutely amazing. And I hope you guys all have a great one. Man, I can't wait to get this fish room back in order. Until then, peace.